going on YouTube? This is Terrell Davis coming at you with another review video. This time we're reviewing Monday Night Raw from February 9th, 2015. Obviously that was a little bit last night. It's midnight, February 10th. This is Arizona time. I live in Arizona. I just got finished watching the episode. I have cable, so it comes on West Coast time. But there's so much to go through tonight. There's just a lot of news, a lot of buzz. So I'm ready to get into it. If you guys are. So Monday Night Raw starts off with Roman Reigns coming out and just telling everybody that he's ready to beat Daniel Bryan in Fastlane, and he's not afraid to fight. And Daniel Bryan comes out, and obviously, he comes out rather smug, I take it, and he's very cocky, I'm noticing, because he holds the WWE Universe in the palm of his hands. Whatever he does, they're gonna do, and it's pretty mind blowing that he could do something like that, with just one word. But he openly says that he is a better wrestler than Roman Reigns, and I mean, honestly, I could be up for debate. I mean, every time I watch a Daniel Bryan match, you talk about John Cena's 5 moves of doom, he has 6 moves of doom. I mean, we have the, we have the drop kick into the corner, right? Then we have the kicks to the chest, then to the head, that's 2. Then we have him diving outside on his opponent, that's 3. We have the running knee, that's 4. We have the yes lock, that's 5. And then we have the headbutt from the top rope, that was 6. So all those things, I thought the 6 moves to do. Obviously, the yes lock was a rendition of the crippling crossface that Chris Benoit made famous. So every time I see Daniel Bryan use that move, I see Chris Benoit using that move, and I mean, it's what it is. So these two were face to face, and then next thing you know, Triple H, Stephanie, Big Show, Kane come out, and they make a tag team match with Daniel Bryan, Roman Reigns against Kane and Big Show. And then at the same time, Triple H calls out Sting, which I'm going to get into that a little bit later. I thought it was pretty cool. But anyway, so the tag team match is going on. Both teams are going at it, and then all of a sudden it breaks down, Roman Reigns takes out Big Show with the chair, and then Kane comes in, tries to chokeslam, Roman Reigns, and Roman Reigns reverses it, and Kane, puts him in the corner. The next thing you know, Daniel Bryan's trying to drop kick Kane, but instead he hits Roman Reigns, thus adding fuel to that fire, to that rivalry, as if it didn't need any more fuel to the fire. It obviously clearly was a accident, one would hope, but obviously Roman Reigns didn't see it that way because he was on the receiving end of that. But it was debatable whether that was an accident or not. So then, they're in each other's face. Roman Reigns pushes him down, and they're about to come to blows. Triple H comes back out, and he makes a 5-on-1 handicap match for later on in the night. So, Roman Reigns, Daniel Bryan team up Big Show, Kane, J&J Security, and Seth Rollins. Surprise, surprise. You know, Triple H loves stacking the odds against people. This time it's against both Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan. Now, moving on in the night, so we have the arrival of Sting. Now, this would be his third arrival. See, the first one was at Survivor Series last year. He comes out, he drops Triple H in the middle of the ring. He helps Team Cena beat Team Rollins and puts the Authority out of power. And then the second time around is when Cena and Rollins are facing each other with Ziggler's, Rowan, and Rowan's, and Ryback's jobs on the line, and he comes out once again, and Cena takes advantage of that, and then they get their, all three of those guys get their jobs back. This time around was very, very cool because Triple H is in the middle of the ring. He's talking about how he would help destroy WCW, and how Sting was the face of the WCW, and he didn't show his face for 14 years after the fact, and so a lot of strong words from Triple H, and then next thing you know, the lights go out, you hear the crows, the sound of the crows, and then you get a little video package, which it shows Triple H talking in his interview talking about Sting, and it has Sting's face paint on him, photoshopped on there, and then it'll say Triple H, and then Triple H looks around, he sees sees a couple of places where Sting is at, and the next thing you know, Sting comes right behind him, and it scares the crap out of Triple H, and then on the screen it says "I agree," so he's pretty much agreeing to a face-off at Fastlane against Triple H. So clearly these two are headed for WrestleMania, because we all know that Fastlane is not where it's going to end. I think this is going to be a huge match just because these two guys are icons. I mean, you have Sting, leader of the WCW. Obviously he was in TNA for a little while, but he's a champ. WCW champion. And you have Triple H. His story. He worked his way up. He was a multi-time WWE champion. He's a world heavyweight champion. He's an intercontinental champion, tag team champion, and so on. So these two going at it, these guys are icons, and so this is going to be a really, really big match when these two face off at WrestleMania. At least that's what is concrete, set in stone, obviously by the creative team. And so moving on, Rusev comes out. He has this, he has this moment where he's, paying tribute to John Cena, and his, illustrious career, and then next thing you know, it turns into, all the big moments when John Cena gets injured. There was the time when Big Show choked Cena through the spotlight. Time when Cena broke his neck, when he broke his knee, So, very strong message from Rusev. Cena comes out, he does this usual shtick about how he's, come back from all that, and he's going to beat Rusev at Fastlane, and next thing you know, they're fighting, and then Cena has a black eye. It is very, very apparent now. I noticed a little bit last week, but it's a little bit more apparent now. And Rusev went after it, obviously, and he Slam Cena against the LED wall, and he tried to do the accolade, but obviously the referees were out there to try to stop him. And so this match at Fastlane is actually going to be for the United States Championship. I've never would have thought that Cena would again try to fight for the United States Championship, but at this point with the mid card scene, the way it is, and with the main event scene crowded as as it is, so they had to put somewhere. They had to put Cena somewhere, and honestly, I guess I've been saying this before. I think it's pretty predictable if you let Cena, beat Russo at Fastlane. I think Cena should lose clean at Fastlane, and in the rematch, I think Cena should lose clean again at WrestleMania. And allow somebody else to get that honor, that opportunity. The Raw after WrestleMania, he comes out for a match and somebody, that we least expect, beats him for the first time ever, because the Raws after WrestleMania, there's something about it, the past few years, it's been, on fire after WrestleManias. So, moving forward, there's been growing dissensions with a couple of different tag teams, one of which is Miz and Mizdow. As you know, Mizdow he was the stunt double for the Miz. Now he's stunt double turned personal assistant, and he's you can tell he's ready to knock Miz out. And it's only a matter of time. Whether or not it's going to happen at Fastlane or that's what's supposed to happen anyways. Miz was getting tired of the Miz, and he knocks him out. He does something which sets up a match at WrestleMania. And then on the other side of the coin, you have Goldust and Stardust. They're kind of miscommunicating as well, and Cody Rhodes, aka Stardust, he doesn't like the fact that Goldust called him Cody. So I guess the storyline is, he's got so deep involved in his Stardust character that he's forgetting who he is pretty much. So this is going to set up a rivalry between them. We'll see what happens with that. But I've read that a rivalry between Stardust and Goldust, that should have happened before. When there have been plenty of opportunities when they could have feuded, but now it's pretty much too little to lead. So we'll see what happens. Maybe they either they continue on this path where they're going at each other, or somehow they find a groove again. Who knows? But and then so big Hall of Fame news is Rikishi is actually going to be in the Hall of Fame, which I think that's awesome. I remember Rikishi of the Steak Face, when he was with teaming up with Too Cool, and those were some fun times. I remember watching him in the ring. So he's going to the Hall of Fame, and obviously his sons, the Usos, are very excited. The Rock's excited. Reigns is excited. And I think it's ironic that he's going to the Hall of Fame, especially at a time when everybody's now figuring out that Reigns has this long bloodline. He's related to the Usos. He's related to Rikishi, Yokozuna, The Rock. And it's very ironic right now that he's getting inducted to the Hall of Fame. But congratulations, Rikishi. You had an awesome career. Um, I hope you have one more match, at least a retirement match. That'd be pretty cool for you kids, before they send you off in the Hall of Fame. Um, so let's move on to Bray Wyatt. Um, Bray Wyatt's been looking strong as of late. He's been on an incredible roll. And he faced Dolph Ziggler once again tonight, and he pretty much destroyed Dolph Ziggler. Obviously, this is building him up for an eventual match against The Undertaker, as per his video promos, which he had another one tonight. And, he's, talking about, where people go when they die, in a science that is just part of the earth, and if it, they go to heaven and hell. He mentions you and me, so I'm thinking, yeah, he's talking about The Undertaker, pretty much, So, I think, this is going to be another huge match. Undertaker versus Bray Wyatt, Bray Wyatt, obviously up and coming. This would put him in that superstar category. This definitely elevate his game. With a huge win over The Undertaker, like that would elevate him big time. He's been working his butt off. He's had some pretty cool promos. I just wish we had the rivalry with Cena, that he could at least been dominating that rivalry instead of be with the predictable option with John Cena being the Superman all the time. But moving on to the main event, the 5-on-2 match. So obviously, Bryan and Reigns are outnumbered, because the Authority pretty much are treating them like the shootings do, where they surround the ring and they beat people down very much. So obviously, Daniel Bryan, Roman Reigns were at a disadvantage, and that was up until Eric Rowan, Ryback, and Ziggler made it even again. And so when the ref finally got control over the match, they're going at it. They're all fighting, and then Daniel Bryan has his he does his little kicks to the chest to JJ security, and then he's like, trying to do his running knee. He's getting him, it's like, yes, and then next thing you know, Roman Reigns tags himself in, and then spears, I believe it was Jamie Noble, and pins him 1, 2, 3, and they win the match. It was at the end of the match, however, that really kind of surprised me. Actually, I can't really say it surprised me. I kind of figured it was going to happen, but Daniel Bryan gets in Reigns' face. They're kind of arguing. Reigns like, all right, I'm done with this. Daniel Bryan, grabs him, pushes him down, or he pushes him against the ropes anyway, and then Reigns just pretty much spears him out of nowhere. I kind of figured it was going to happen. I mean, Reigns has been upset at least the past couple of weeks, and I don't blame him. He has an opportunity to go to WrestleMania and, get a shot at the World Heavyweight Championship. Something that every other superstar dreams of doing, And he happens to win the Rumble, fair and square. This is his time, and, everybody wants to take that away from him because he's not ready, apparently. But last year, he was ready. I mean, do we not forget, he was the standout star of the Shield, and he had a dominant performance in the Rumble last year. Everybody wanted him to win, and then next thing you know, when Batista wins, everybody was almost rioting, and then a year later, he wins Rumble, and everybody's rejecting the that um, Vince McMahon was talking with the WWE officials and get this, that he's considering doing a triple threat match for the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania. I can't tell you how outraged I am at this. I mean, here we are, again, Vince McMahon is caving, doing something that he said he wouldn't do, throwing Daniel Bryan and the main event of WrestleMania. Now, all of this is a report, a rumor, however you want to call it. We all know how this is going to play out. I mean, honestly, what is the point of having a Royal Rumble? For the second year in a row, we have a superstar who wins the match, much to the displeasure of the fans, and they give in to what the fan. They give in. They allow the fans to steer the show in the way that they want it, instead of just doing their thing and allowing the fans to just wait and see what happens. They give in to what they want, give in to their demands, and so now we may see a triple threat match at WrestleMania for the World Heavyweight Championship. I'm just, it's mind blowing to me. I mean, we've seen this before. I mean, we all know what's going to happen here. I mean, there's probably going to be a bogus finish at Fastlane. Something's going to happen where both men either they get counted out or it ends in some type of draw, so something controversial. The next thing you know, next time on Raw, both men are in the match at WrestleMania, and I can't tell you how upset I am about this. I really am upset about this, because we have so much potential with the Reigns and Lesnar match. Like, if that Monday after Royal Rumble didn't show you anything, it shows that this is going to be an intense match. This is going to be a hard-hitting match. This is going to be a match of the century. This is going to be a match of the year, man. I mean, you have Paul Heyman, who can honestly carry. He carried Brock Lesnar for years, man. All he did was build up Brock Lesnar. He built him up correctly. And see, he can do the same thing with Reigns in a smug Paul Heyman kind of way. But this match, I mean, if it was handled carefully, this match it will blow the roof off of Levi's Stadium. And Levi's Stadium doesn't even have a roof. But we're being treated to another triple threat match. I mean, honestly, is this what's going to happen from here on out? We get a winner in the Royal Rumble, only to find out that it's somebody that the fans don't want. So give in to the fans' demands and put in who they do want, and then yet another triple threat match. Like, this is ridiculous, man. Reigns is getting buried here. I mean, in a storyline, this has got to be affecting him as much as it's affecting him in real life. I mean, he's worked his ass off since day one when he was with the Shield. He's proven time and time again that, he's worked his ass off. He never had to use the card that, my family were wrestlers too. He never had to use that card, because he always wanted to, carve his own path in the WWE. That's exactly what he did. It's for him to even make it this far, to even win the Rumble, clearly he was doing something right. Clearly, WWE, even the fans, all of the fans, who, turned on him, clearly saw something in him to want him to win the Rumble last year. I mean, I don't understand it. Like, if I was him, I would be pissed because, why, why should, if I was him, I'd be like, why should I have to, give my opportunity up just because, fans don't like it? Like, if they don't like it, that's fine. Like, I can just go out there and prove myself. But unfortunately, that's not enough because clearly, they're gonna have a triple threat match anyway. I don't even want to say that it's gonna be a maybe. I mean, I already know what's gonna happen here, and at the end of the day, everybody wants to see Daniel Bryan as a champ. I don't understand it. In a way, I kind of want him to win. I kind of want him to get his little title, title run because that way it'll shut fans up. But at the same time, I don't want that to happen because I don't want to see him as a champion. I mean, I get, yeah, he's worked hard. He's talented. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, you have superstars that work just as hard, if not twice as hard as him, who also deserve an opportunity. And with Reigns winning and everybody, having all this backlash, I'm like, it doesn't make any sense to me because, past years you're complaining about part-timers, being in the main events of WrestleManias. You're complaining about, Batista, with him being a part-timer winning last year's WrestleMania. But now we have a fresh new face, fresh new blood winning the Rumble. He's not even a part-timer. I mean, he works his ass off, and, somebody that you don't want him. Like, he's fresh face. He's not even Cena. At least he's not Cena. He's not a part-timer. It's Roman Reigns winning. But now it's coming down to the point where none of that is, none of that's going to really matter anyway because it's going to turn into a triple threat match whether we like it or not. I hope you don't do that. I really hope you don't do this again with the triple threat match stuff. Like, we don't want to see that. I know I don't want to see that. I want Lesnar versus Reigns. That's all I want. I want Lesnar versus Reigns. I want Lesnar versus Reigns. I want Reigns to go into Fastlane. Him and Daniel Bryan have an honorable match, have a match with honor and respect. They'll tear the roof off the house. I want Reigns winning in the end. I want him going to WrestleMania facing Lesnar, him beating Lesnar, and becoming the World Heavyweight Champion. And then and only then will we find out if Reigns has what it takes to have the company on his shoulders. Because us sitting up here and making assumptions and speculating that, he's not ready, what happens if he's going to, if he has the company, we don't know yet because it hasn't happened yet. And it's not going to happen if we keep having the instances where we're throwing Daniel Bryan in matches, in title matches, especially in this particular title match. And correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't Daniel Bryan have a rematch clause as it was? So what was the point of him going into the Royal Rumble in the first place? If he had a rematch clause, right? Why enter the Rumble? I think that's a big screw up by the writers, by the creative team. Instead of him lobbying to be in the the championship match at the Royal Rumble, thus making it a fatal four-way, he decides to enter the Rumble, and we already know what happened with that. Because I think by him, lobbying to be in the championship match at the Royal Rumble, he gets a championship match. Everybody's happy because he's in a championship match. You know, and then the Royal Rumble match happens, Reigns wins, boom. There's not so much backlash as there once was. But then when the fans had Daniel Bryan lost that title match, who knows what would happen? He probably would have been just as mad. So there's no telling. But all I can really do at this point is just hope that this is not going to be a predictable match where it's going to be the whole triple threat match thing. I'm against that. I hate that fact. But it is what it is. We'll just see what happens in the coming weeks. But this coming Thursday, we have a face-to-face confrontation with Reigns and Daniel Bryan. So that's going to be interesting. That'll take the rivalry to the next level there, because they're pretty much ready to come to blows. But that's pretty much it. That's the key points away from Raw, and I'm just against this triple threat match thing. Like, I really do not like it. I gotta be honest with you. Like, this is something that, this is something that I feared was going to happen. Although, as I voiced my displeasure for it, it may be happening. But, anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed Raw. Hope you enjoyed my video. Just make sure that you comment below. Join the debate. Do you think this is a good thing that the triple threat match is possibly happening, or are you totally against it like me? Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my page, and that way you can view the videos I've already made and all the upcoming videos that I'm going to make. And today's my birthday. I'm 27 years old. And I look back and I'm like, man, 15 years I watched wrestling, and I started watching wrestling when I was 12 years old. Like, it's been a long time. But anyways, I'll see you guys again on Thursday as I will review the SmackDown episode, and obviously keep an eye on that Lesnar match. Whether or not it's going to become a triple threat or it's just going to be a singles match. So, and obviously the Daniel Bryan Roman Reigns rivalry. See how that heats up. But until then, guys, I will see you later. So, peace.